doesn't ever get dark in this country.
It's the gloaming.
Well, I think it's just about the most romantic part of the day.
We like a lot of light.
You didn't used to mind it before we got married.
You think of that time in Candlestick Park?
No, I was thinking of that time in Emeryville in the drive-in movie at 3 in the afternoon. And you told me they had a show in the afternoon.
They did. For the man who came around to check the sound system.
Mac, look! Is that a monster? Is that a real monster?
Oh, yes, yeah.
It's gone. Oh, look, tea and scones.
Oh, not for me, thanks. But it was something with enough power to move through the water, well, like a monster.
Could it have been towed by a boat?
No, there was nothing above the surface except those fins, and it was absolutely silent.
Sergeant, it was so quiet you could hear that little carousel over at the games grounds.
Oh, you know what they call that, sir? That is called a side skirt.
But the one you found didn't have one. Wonder why? You know, I've seen something like this somewhere. Not as part of the armor, but separate, used for something. If your Aunt Eleanor gave you one for Christmas...
She wouldn't, darling. She's into modern.
Well, if she did, what would you do with it?
Well, I'd give it to Aunt Louise. Her birthday's in January. She loves useless things.
Part of Fergus' armor missing. That is strange. Perhaps it was stolen. Did you not say there was a break-in recently?
Within the past 5 years, according to Enright.
And now,
But why steal just part of the armor?
Mac.
and here he is to play the tune that cut the judge's ears. Up with the bonnets of Bonnie Dundee by this year's winner, Thomas Sinclair of Glen Abbott.
Sinclair? But I thought Duncan was...
Duncan, it was a certainty.
Didn't make the finals. Short of breath he was.
Duncan!
Hi, Mac. You're still taking the high road.
In Scotland.
Let's take a walk.
Good idea.
Oh, Enright.
Excuse me, Commissioner, but there's a fly casting competition over there. I don't want to miss it.
I hope you catch a nice fish.
Bye, Sergeant.
Going very well, Jamie.
Yes, isn't it?
Is that the stand you painted yesterday?
Oh, yes, yes. I did
Huh?
a very good job, too, I think. huh?
No. There's blue paint on your boot. The stand's green.
Oh, well, I must have got that someplace else. Hey, McDougal!
Mac, Mel says they're selling some terrific tweeds. You want to go over and look at them?
Huh?
You want to go over and look at them?
Horses on that carousel. I'm just a nut for carousels. I'll see you later.
He'll do anything to get out of shopping. Come on. What is that?
It's paper tossing.
Well, it looks like he's throwing a telephone pole or a tree. Well, as Mildred would say, it'll never replace the roller derby.
Watch out!
Yeah.
Sally, are you all right?
You know, in our country, we try to keep to the left.
Ah, very good, Miss McTavish. You're really getting the hang of it.
Call me Mom.
Boy, was I lucky. You're saving me from that caber tossing.
Look at Enright. You're not the only one.
Hey, what's the matter with you, Bobby? You gone daft?
Bobby.
Why, thank you, Bobby. I can use all the compliments I can get. Come on, Mac, hurry up. I'm dying for a peek.
You should learn the value of anticipation, lass.
There's a wee duck in Doris, just a wee drop, that's all. There's a wee duck in Doris, before we gang aboard. There's a wee wifey waiting in a wee button bend.
Hello, is my husband in there?
There's a wee duck in Doris, before we gang aboard. There's a wee wifey waiting in a wee button bend. If you can say it's a Bob Rick's moonlit nick, you're all right, you can.
You look fabulous. Turn around. I want to see if your hem is straight.
This is one drafty castle, you know that?
Would you like to borrow some pantyhose?
Would you like the back of me hand?
You look great.
Is my sporran right? It's supposed to be hanging in the center.
Oh, the little purse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a little lipstick in there. For me.
You know, I think Bobby prefers me as a Scotsman.
Keep your knees together, darling. I know what Bobby doesn't like. Did you see the way he was barking at Ramsey? And I've seen him barking like crazy at Duncan the gamekeeper.
Oh, Sally, stop waiting for Bobby to solve my uncle's murder. Dogs bark. They also wag their tails. I've seen him do both at Duncan and at Ramsey, among others.
You decent?
Come on in, Mildred.
You call that decent? Go put some pants on.
We've been through that already, Mildred. What's up?
What time is this shindig?
In an hour, and it's not a shindig. It's the traditional turning over of the castle to the new laird, Jamie.
Well, the Great Hall is filling with Scotsmen, and Mrs. McTaggart is already passing out the booze.
And what are you doing up here?
Aren't you amusing?
Tut.
Mrs. McT has never heard of drink coasters. By the time Jamie moves in, there are going to be rings all over that good furniture.
Oh, all that good mahogany. Those old-time lairds should have put their armor on their tabletops instead of on their warriors. You'll work it out, Mildred.
Yeah, well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Sally. Would you find Enright and meet me up in the tower?
Darling, what about the ceremony?
Oh, this time.
Mac?
Huh?
There's something that I've always wanted to know.
What?
What does a Scotsman wear under his kilt?
Later.
Mac?
Sir? Guests are arriving.
Just solved a crime. A crime that happened 300 years ago. Fergus McCready. And you put me onto it, Sally.
Of course I did.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back 300 years. Remember the legend. The McMILLAN walled up Fergus McCready because he found him hiding in the castle the night before a battle. Figured him out to be a coward.
But he was really a thief.
Fergus came back to the castle, dug up the treasure, reburied it someplace else. The secret died in the wall with him. That's why the treasure disappeared.
I put you on to all of that?
Sure. Remember the other day when you wondered why anybody would need a trivet to protect a marble tabletop?
You weren't even there.
Oh, well, I showed it to him. I know you said it wasn't logical, but it seemed logical to me, so
The missing piece from Fergus's armor.
Well, how did that get in here?
Uncle Michael. Sometime in the last years, remember the new mortar? Uncle Michael found Fergus, understood what this meant, used it as a trivet so he could keep it around.
But why?
Fergus scratched the location of the treasure on it.
Well, why wouldn't Uncle Michael just dig up the treasure?
Well, Jamie, I would think. You can't get rid of a castle in a day, but you certainly can a treasure. And Jamie, being the spendthrift that he was, Uncle Michael wanted to wait and make sure that Jamie was mature enough.
Mac, this doesn't look like the map to a treasure. It says BQ3.
That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't it?
Mm-mm.
Follow me. When we were down here before, it occurred to me that this floor looks like a chessboard.
Chess? I still don't get it.
Well, Sergeant, each chess square has a name, so you can write the game down. For example, BQ3 would be black's queen's third.
The only problem is there are more squares down here than there are on the chessboard, and furthermore, I can't tell which wall's black's. Now, our digger has already done some testing. I'll bet we can catch him here red-handed tonight.
Suppose he doesn't dig tonight.
That's his last chance. Jamie moves in tomorrow. Besides, he already learned that he can be heard upstairs.
Tonight there'll be a dance band and pipers.
Fire a cannon down here, it'd never be heard upstairs. So, Enright, you and I'll have to wait for him.
Mac, you can't.
Why not?
You're a big part of the ceremony tonight.
I can handle the surveillance, sir. Well, it's dark down here. I have the advantage of surprise. Besides, it's too damp down here for skirts.
All right, Joe. But be careful. Remember, one of those people upstairs is a murderer.
Good night, Sergeant.
Good night. What a way to spend an evening.
Lovely this evening. Captain Morris. Good evening, Miss Jenny. What a grand party.
looking very well.
Thank you.
Oh, he just puts it on and lets it sell itself.
Now.
Want to dance?
Yes, let's.
Oh, I should warn you about the castle tradition. Never a first dance under this roof between a husband and wife.
Far be it from me to go against the castle tradition. Excuse me.
She just made that up. Would you care for a fling?
Beg pardon?
Would you care for a fling?
Oh, you don't fling to this music, only the pipes. But I'd be honored to lead you in a foxtrot. George Macduff.
Sally McMILLAN. Lead on, Macduff. You know what they say about he who cries enough. You've heard that before.
Many times. Many, many times.
I see Nell is stuck with some big cloud.
Isn't he your husband?
So you're right. I never recognize him when he's dancing with someone else.
Thank you very much, Mrs.
Oh,
McMillan.
you're very welcome.
May I fetch you something to wet your whistle?
Oh, that'd be nice.
I'll be right back. Meet me by the black wall.
Mrs. McTaggart. Mrs. McTaggart, is there a black wall anywhere about? They all look sort of beige to me.
The black wall, you say? That's not color. It's from chess. The north wall.
Well, what makes the north wall black?
The McMillan who built this place was a hound for chess. Wouldn't he play with the morning sun in his eyes? And always played white. So the south wall of every room is known as the white wall.
Does that mean that the north wall of the keep would...
Wrong, missus. Too many squares for chess in that chamber. It's across from the keep. That's the old chess room.
Thank you, Mrs. McTaggart. You've been very helpful. Man. Man.
Wait, man! What is this? You cannot interrupt the ceremony.
I'm sorry.
Try a bit of the salmon, lad.
Maybe later, Mrs. McTaggart. Thank you. Sergeant. Sergeant. Sergeant Enright. Charlie? Charlie, it's me, Mrs. McMillan. It's okay, it's me. You're looking in the wrong room. It's across the hall. Sergeant, it's the room across the hall, and the north wall is the black wall.
Thanks to the missus, I know where to dig.
Sorry, Sergeant.
I'll take that. Come on. It's rightfully mine. Hey,
McCready died for it. And wrote the clue to find it. I'm a McCready. I thank you to turn round, Sergeant.
The scepter of the McMILLAN, strong and straight. All here bear witness that you accept it willingly, with all encumbrances thereto. The last man who carried it with great honor. I wish it and the family name the same good fortune in your hands.
Those present are bound to inform all those in their ken in these mountains that Jamie McMillan is the true and only possessor of all properties, honors, titles, and licenses pertaining to the Laird of Kinross. And henceforth, he shall be known as the McMillan. Up the McMillan.
Grabs you, don't it? I get that same funny chill like when they picked Miss America. It's a great show for the hotel.
Excuse me, do you see my wife?
No.
You can let me go now. You don't need a hostage. They can't catch you now. You didn't quit your job. You got fired when Uncle Michael found you digging for the treasure, right?
You're a smart lass. Now be quiet. I have some hard driving to do.
Any idea where he was heading?
Well, sir, when I came to, I looked out the window and I saw a car going down the lock road very fast.
There's a chance. We could cross it a lot faster than Duncan could go around. Come on.
Oh, there aren't any boats. How'd you know it was Duncan?
We lost the piping contest. Why did he lose? Because he was out of breath.
Oh, we couldn't resist the chance to dig while the castle was empty.
Race back to the games, met his accomplice.
Accomplice?
Jamie.
What?
Jamie.
Excuse me.
I need it. You're gonna run it for me.
It?
The Lochmoran monster.
Oh, come on now. You don't really believe there is such a...
Rope burns on your hands, blue paint on your shoes from the carousel, mud from near the lock. And I heard the music when I saw the monster.
I don't know anything about
I haven't got time to argue with you. You're gonna run the monster now.
The village needs a monster in order to survive.
What about my wife's survival? Come on. I can cut across the lake a lot faster than they can find her.
Brother Ben?
You could have killed me.
I can make that kibber sit up and play any lorry. I was only throwing you a scare.
And it was you that shot at Mac when he was on the grouse hunt.
Quiet. All we've done is scare folks so far.
Try faster, Duncan.
There's none from the castle can catch us now.
Oh! Water is like ice.
Give Jamie the signal.
If you fall off of this thing, you'll freeze or drown or both.
Give Jamie the signal.
Yes, sir.
We're leaving now, Flo. I've got to be back at the shop Monday morning. So to hell with the bloomin' monster what's too shy to show himself.
It's all a fake, anyhow.
Flo, the lake.
Eh?
Do you see?
Oh, it's a blooming Scot. They'll never believe this in Wormsley Park.
He's gone, Flo.
set.
I'll move it. Ben. 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 Hey, Ben. Ben.
If I told you, you wouldn't believe it. The McMILLAN treasure.
Oh, I'm touched. Yeah, and my friends all hope there will be enough here, so they won't be touched for a while. So I thank you, Duncan, for saving me the digging. If my Latin is reliable, these shares assure us of handsome dividends from all those people traveling the Northwest Passage to India. Yeah, through 1819.
There's more in here, Jamie.
Oh, look. It's a necklace. Yeah, modest but lovely. To be worn by the mistress of Castle Kinross.
Hey, you're selling this place to me.
As they say in your country, sir, no way.
Now, just a minute.
Up the McMILLAN.
It's a happy conclusion for you, McMillans. And as soon as we prepared a legal case against these two for the murder of the laird, you'll get your just revenge.
We ne'er killed the old man. Took his treasure, aye. But we're nae murderers.
I suspect they're right, Mr. Ramsey. A murderer would have dealt more harshly with my wife and Charles Enright. There's no real link between the treasure and my uncle's death. I'd like to propose a toast. Michael McMILLAN was more than a father to me. It was a rare privilege to know him. And I've not been able to prove, as I'd hoped, that he was murdered. But I would like to propose a toast to this man whose noble life cannot be diminished by the events of a single day. To the late laird, whose death, whose suicide, I will not accept, because it's simply unacceptable. To the late laird.
Come on, Bobby, stay down or I'll never get this fly tied. Well, so I just thought that since the case is solved that, Miss McTavish has taken me to a secret place she knows where we can get in some good night fishing.
Just a second. May I? That's it. May I ask you all, Ramsey, Jamie, Houston, join me in the tower room in about 10 minutes? Come on, Bubs. Come on. Thank you for your patience. I am happy to tell you that sometimes the unacceptable is also the untrue. Uncle Michael did not commit suicide. He was murdered. And in front of a witness. The witness, as my wife was the first to sense, was a dog, Bobby. And he's already testified 3 times. First, by barking at you, Duncan. Then at you, Mr. Ramsey. Then at Charles Enright. Or so we thought. Actually, he was barking at a fishhook. I'll show you why. Our murderer took a fishhook and line, which is almost invisible, attached it to a trigger of a preloaded gun before Uncle Michael came into the room, wrapped it around the butt of the rifle, out through the window, threw it up to the parapet above. Then he went up there and waited. Uncle Michael walked to the window, probably when he heard the sound of my voice from the driveway.
Uncle Michael! Uncle Michael!
One yank to pull the trigger. The second yank, much stronger, to pull the gun off its mounting. Bobby got nicked the first time, trying to capture that instrument that killed his master. Good boy.
But this is all pure speculation.
No, the line left marks at the top of the slit. And my wife and I saw the murderer.
We did?
Late that night. He had to wait till dark to make his escape.
Mac, why would he come back the following night?
He didn't. Remember that first night we saw a man running? Then the second night we saw a man running, only faster? Which puzzled me, because a man escaping always runs at his own top speed, which means that there had to be two men, one each night.
It was me the second time.
Yeah, you were down in the cellar digging. And the first night, it was the murderer who waited up on that roof until Uncle Michael could walk to the window.
But, Mac, how would he know when to pull the trigger if he's up on the roof?
Yes, of course. He couldn't see anything from there. Well, you could guess at it, I suppose.
Bad luck, Mac. It was a doozy of a theory while it lasted.
He's right. No way to know if the laird was in his sight.
Right. But what if there were two of them? The murderer up on the roof, and someone out there to signal him when to fire.
Where out there? There's no place with a clear view and cover?
Yes, there is. The Crofter's cottage. Mrs. Gray's place.
Oh, but it's too far to fire.
Not too far away to observe. Through mighty powerful binoculars. What was your signal to Houston, Mrs. Gray? Everyone knew that Uncle Michael would never sell this place. But you knew that Jamie would. You had to sell this place to Globe Hotels, didn't you? Living off expenses you'd never earned. Wasn't that it? What were you thinking of, Mrs. Gray, when you stood there and watched the tower, smoked all your cigarettes, and waited? Didn't you ever wonder how you could let this con man talk you into killing a laird?
Don't answer him, Annie. It's a trick.
What was your signal, Mrs. Gray? Did you raise an umbrella?
I lowered it. God help me, I lowered it.
Everybody stand right there. I'm really very good with this.
Thank you, Sergeant. You can go fishing now.
Thanks for everything, Mac.
We're really grateful.
You know, it's not going to be the same around here without you. Very, very quiet. The next Healing Games are not for 2 years.
I think the village will get by. I somehow have the feeling that the monster may appear again. Come on, Bobby.
They die hard, monsters.
Of course, Bobby goes with the castle, but if you ever get tired of him, San Francisco can always use another good detective.
We seen him, we did, as plain as radio day.
Yeah.
The Flying Scotty is, according to the new laird hereabouts, gone forth from his castle to